Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. I go live every weekday to joke about the news. We do news commentary, newsmentary, as I call it. And we joke about the news because most of the time the news is a joke. They think you're stupid. The lame stream media thinks you're dumb. And we're going to cipher through it all. Is that the right word? We're going to decipher it. We're going to not cipher. What is the word? Do you know the word I'm looking for? Anyways, we'll figure it out later. Another CEO down. CEO down. So there is some good news in the Reddit feed. We're going to dive into that. We're also going to dive into what I talked about yesterday on the live stream. If you weren't here, Donald Trump had made mention that the reason he broke up with his best friend forever, birthday card sending, the wonderful secret enigma, Epstein. The reason he broke up with him, he said, because he stole an employee from him. And yesterday I said, how did nobody raise their hand and say, excuse me, was it a masseuse? Excuse me, was it a young woman? I was very, very angry at the journalist there and feeling like I should get a credential. And what do you know? Today we have news on who Epstein stole from Donald. Donald has further embellished or further stated who Jeffrey Epstein, his neighbor, his best friend, his wonderful enigma, never aging, secret keeping friend, who Epstein stole from him. We're going to go over that. So hit the thumbs up button and hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I go live. Who's here? I like to ask, where are people from? Where are you from? Drop it in the comments. Let's see. We have people all over the world. Germany, Austria, a Tasmanian. Yesterday we had a Tasmanian in here. That's nuts. I didn't think there were people that lived there. Did you know people lived on Tasmania? I gotta be honest, until somebody from Tasmania in the live stream yesterday, I thought it was only the devils that lived there, the Tasmanian devils. It's 42. What's up? Good to see you again. Good to see you. Welcome back. So we'll get started in a minute. We'll let some people roll in. What's good in your hood? It's 42. Did you hear? And let me preface, because we're going to talk about the CEO down. Another CEO down. Free Luigi, folks. Another CEO has been wiped off the earth. And you might have heard this story in a different spin. You might have heard this story spun in a way of there was a live shooter, or there was a shooter in New York who was going for the NFL headquarters, and that is just not accurate. And I get my information from TikTok. And TikTok doesn't lie, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. But the lady who breaks this down, if you're in the Discord, I shared it. She is a good woman known as Debate Her on TikTok. And she's breaking down some of the stuff that I didn't think made sense. I didn't really read into this yesterday. And I kept seeing like, oh, NFL headquarters. And I was like, nobody's mad at the NFL. What is it, a draft pick on Ron? Like, this doesn't make sense. And then turns out when you find out who the people murked were, security guards, bystander, and a CEO of Blackstone Real Estate Holdings, who's been buying up houses all across the country, raising rent prices, and then you go, oh, that kind of makes sense. So we're going to go into that, and I'll play some of the clips. Hold on. Come here, kitty. Oh, never mind. The cat will come here in a minute. Cats are unique pets, unique New York. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to everybody that's rolling in. We're going to talk about Trump saying that Epstein stole young women from him and he had to break it off, and how that is also a lie. He didn't break it off then. Epstein did poach or what's the correct word? They did prey on young women at Trump's neighboring home to Epstein's. But the lie part is Trump didn't break up with him then. because 2 years later, in an interview, he said he's a wonderful guy. I've been friends with him for 15 years. So, I mean, you just got to be careful in this day and age of the internet. You know, they record everything, especially when you're doing interviews with magazines. So we're going to talk about that. But most importantly, I think we need to get out of the way of the CEO. CEO down. Another CEO down. Another win for the people, if we're going to be honest. And the news is just not talking about it. I did link an article down below so I could show you proof. And I try to link everything that we're talking about down below so you could read it yourself. Reuters is reporting it. Wall Street returns to work after Manhattan shooting that killed Blackstone executive. Interesting. I'm just curious, has anybody else heard this? Has anybody else heard this? I don't know if you watched the news or not, but have you heard the lamestream media reporting this, or did the corporations and the media CEOs realize that when we all cheered on Luigi and said, "Oh man, that's good," you know, he's a saint, he's a patron saint. He rolled back anesthesia time limits. He helped people from the ghouls that charge us to have a eon of medical technology and science progress gate kept from us. These CEOs are ghouls. These insurance CEOs, they're ghouls. They deny your claims and make profits. So I think once that they realized, oh, these people are like rabid for these CEOs to be held accountable and just not getting bonuses on our suffering, that they're not reporting this. So, and we'll even see if this gets good vibes, bro. Let's go, Nighthawk. Good to see you again. So I'm just curious, for the people that are here, have you heard about this? Is my live going to be limited for reporting on this? I'm very curious. Did you get a notification? Because I said another CEO down. Jolene, good to see you. But has anybody heard this? Have you heard, well, let me ask this. Have you heard that the NFL was targeted? Which makes no fucking sense. None at all. Who would target the NFL? What is it? Target the NFL going into buying up homes in your neighborhood and having a monopoly on all the homes so they could raise rent prices and you can't move anywhere because they own everything? I don't think so. Or does it make sense that Blackstone, who does that executive happened to be gunned down? Nobody in the NFL was injured. It just doesn't make sense. This is the critical thinking part. Haven't heard it. Was another CEO crazy? Alma, see? Yep, heard the NFL. I heard the NFL and I said, that doesn't seem right. And I just ignored all that news. I just put on my blinders and said, I'm going to focus on what matters. Donald was best friends with Epstein and he's acting guilty as hell. And then some stuff started to trickle in. And if you go to Reddit, this is now on one of the main pages of Reddit, okay? And I really wanted to share this because it's amazing what they'll do to keep this from the people. And you might have been affected by Blackstone, related to BlackRock, these evil private equity holding companies. They're like an investment firm. They like hold all these people money, billions and billions of dollars, and then they buy up all the assets like we talk about here on the channel. They buy up all the property. You might have a corporate landlord, it might be owned by them, I don't know, but you can just look in the past 5 years of the news stories of corporate landlords using algorithms and monopolistic tendencies to buy all the properties and then raise the rent together so nobody can move anywhere because the rent's the same because it's all one corporate landlord. Silver pair of ducks. But what about the Federal Reserve? Oh, Christ. We're not going to talk about the Federal Reserve right now. So I'm just curious to know if anybody else had heard that a CEO was another CEO down, or if the media is keeping it from you. And if they are, why? I'm sure you heard that a security guard was, I don't know if they were injured or killed. Again, not very familiar, but I'm going to play some audio for you, okay? Never heard of it. Oh, Jesus, Victor. So I'm very curious to see if anybody else had heard that one of the 4 people killed was a Blackstone CEO. And the hilarious part of this news story is that a day after, Wall Street just goes back to work. Why? Because these CEOs, and by the way, if there's any CEOs watching, you are replaceable. They don't give a shit about you. You are there to make tough decisions as a fall person and make profits off people's suffering. And when you die, just like what was the guy, Brian something, that token white guy who got murked. Free Luigi, by the way, innocent till proven guilty. We don't know he did it. Could have been a bigger thing. But when that Brian guy got murked, the meeting still went on. Like the other CEOs were like, "Oh, Brian's not here. Oh, there's a big police commotion outside. All right, carry on. Next with the minutes." Like they don't care. Another CEO found out today, this afternoon, first time hearing it. People talk about it now. Gary. Okay, interesting. No, you were the first. IRE. I didn't hear anything about it, just towards the NFL headquarters. Right. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I heard too. NFL headquarters, that he was heading there, that there was this miraculous note in the car that they didn't first report on. Now, remember, the media and the police want to control the narrative on this. And again, I'm very curious to know if my video is going to be limited in its reach because we're going to expose some of this stuff. Kathleen, 168. Brian, the CEO who got murked in December. Remember the 4th of December? When the United Health Insurance CEO, the middle management CEO, he wasn't even the big CEO of the company. The big CEO came out, and we're going to continue on in our tradition of being ghoulish vipers and profiting off people's lack of health care that we deny them, that we gatekeep them from. He was a middle management CEO. So that's who I was talking about. Okay, so now everybody's probably heard of the NFL being targeted, which again, makes no sense. The NFL hasn't been in the news. Yes, they're in that building, but he wasn't there, and nobody in the NFL was injured, right? But when you look at who was injured, security guard, I think there was like an innocent people caught in crossfire or something like that. But then there was one very important specific person that was taken out. A Blackstone executive. Oh, never mind. I didn't have to go get the cat. Here, let's see if I can. Here we go. You did want to say hi. You little cutie. I don't think my cat likes you. I don't know who is in this live, but my cat just gave you the eye. You guys ever heard of Grumpy Cat? This is not Grumpy Cat. This is not Grumpy Cat. I forget what I call this cat. It's not Grumpy Cat, it's something. Something cat. It's, I forget what I call it. Cool art. Oh, Eerie, is it your dog? See, my cat can sense your dog. Look at my cat's eyes. My cat is like, who are, hello? I love you. I love you. Are you going to break everything on the computer? Susan, why are you celebrating a CEO dying? Because they're human rubbish. Are you not paying attention, Susan? These people take these jobs for the suffering of you and your community. Make no mistake, the Blackstone CEO, what they did was purchase single-family homes in America and buy enough of them in certain neighborhoods where they could raise all the rent prices. So instead of, maybe you're not a fan of communities, neighborhoods, but instead of people being able to buy homes in communities, they buy them and they can outbid anyone because they have billions and billions of dollars. And when they do that and they turn these single family homes into permanent rental properties, people can't afford to keep living there. And it becomes a turnstile door for whoever can afford the rent. And if you, again, if you're just stopping in, if you look at the past 5 years, just Google corporate landlords using algorithms to raise rents. And they were doing it, I think they were even sued in Arizona or somewhere out west because they were doing it in collaboration with other corporate CEOs. So basically no one could move within the apartment building, no one could move around town because all the corporate landlords were raising the rents at the same time. So nowhere was affordable. And they weren't doing it because there were new renovations. That's the other thing. People will be like, oh, well, you have to with taxes, or they put in a new water filtration. No, they did nothing. That's what I mean. Like, you got to read about it. You got to come in with a little bit of knowledge to this conversation. It's okay if you don't have it. That's why I'm just trying to give you the cliff notes. That this is like, historically speaking, this has just happened. There were no renovations, there were no modifications, there were no nothing. They were just strictly there for the profit margins. Susan, now I will stop addressing you because you're obviously fucking stupid. I've not heard anything about Blackstone guy. I'm looking now, news stations in that area. Sorry, this is going a little quick. 1,000,000%. This is what's happening in San Diego. How are we paying over $3,000 for a 2-bedroom? Exactly. It's happening everywhere. And Susan's going to deny it. I don't know. Maybe she's in Germany. You're either foreign, you're either living abroad. This broad is either living abroad or just dumb. I don't know. Karem Dezagen Ozen? Yes, I'm going to be rude sometimes. You're right. You're 100% right. And what I love, I just want to point this out. What I love is when the MAGA people get offended, when the Trump supporters, when they're like, "Oh, rude! How dare you?" Remember, this is the crowd in America that celebrated, had T-shirts that said "fuck your feelings," and then they have the audacity to pearl clutch and act like someone saying, "You're fucking stupid." If you're saying I'm lying about this, news stories that you can easily look up. You're on the internet. It doesn't, Susan, you could be as educated as you want. You could have a master's degree. There are people working in the government. There is Robert F. Kennedy, who, if you want to think he's smart, okay, and he was a lawyer, and he is just a butthole puckering bootlicker. That's it. That guy is a joke. So your education doesn't matter at this point if you can't see the common sense and read a story about what's happening, or just, I don't know, ask people. That's the worst part about this. It's like, do you just not pay attention? Do you really know no one, everyone you know, when they sold a house or bought a house, they were like, oh, it was immaculate. I got it for the price I wanted. Renting is really easy right now. It's like, read the room. Google Blackstone CEO, Garzi. Okay, let's get back to Frank Henderson. Why do you guys love Donald? I'm going to call him Donald. Why do you defend this PDF file? You understand. He was best friends with Epstein. He is the deep state. It's sad that you're still defending it. Now's your time to jump off that wagon. A lot of people, Kathleen, said F your feelings. A lot of people. There was a big sentiment of F your feelings. In fact, the right loves to pretend like, they shouldn't be politically correct and you should be able to say whatever you want. And then as soon as it affects them, they like to cry foul, cry wolf. They like to go, oh my God, he called me stupid. How dare he? Meanwhile, the president is dropping swears and accusing everyone of everything online while acting insanely guilty. Kieran O'Rourke. That's sad to have an Irish name like that and be a bootlicker like you are. And I love this. Hey, the Trump people, I just got to dump the maggots in the chat right now. If you're just going to say Trump is a goat, Trump won, Trump 2028, guys, it's exhausting. We get it. You love defending Epstein's best friend. You love defending Maxwell's best friend. You love defending the deep state. You love defending these people who abuse women. We get it. You have nothing to say besides Trump. That's it. That's usually the offerings you bring. So I'm just going to say this once because there's other people in the chat that would like to discuss things. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Just shut the fuck up. Now, listen, let's get to the story, okay? This is Debate Her, at Debate Her on TikTok. I'm going to play the audio for you. And she breaks this down, and she's covering this on TikTok, if you have TikTok. Oh, some of these people are just showing off like a peacock with their stupidity.
Major update about the shooting in Manhattan yesterday. It has now been confirmed that the CEO of Blackstone Real Estate Income Trust, Wesley LePatner, was killed in the shooting. Blackstone Real Estate Income Trust is a subsidiary of the larger Blackstone financial manager, which you might have heard of because they have been buying up single-family homes across America and artificially increasing housing prices for the entire country. If you haven't already, go watch my previous video because we theorized that an executive was killed based on how the media was already portraying the narrative of what unfolded yesterday. And now, despite the fact that we know that a CEO was killed, the mainstream media, most of the articles are telling you that he was targeting the NFL, despite the fact that the NFL isn't housed on the 33rd floor where he went to go shoot someone. And right now they're burying headlines about the CEO being among those killed, and they're downplaying her position in the company.
All right, so did you guys hear that? This is, again, at Debate Her on TikTok. Now, I was asking people when we started the live if you had heard that this was if you had heard that this was a CEO that got taken off this mortal coil. Not many people had. A lot of people had heard the NFL thing. Now, why this is important? Well, because the media is trying to control the narrative, clearly, right? If one of the four people that were killed was a CEO of a major corporation that has wreaked havoc in America, you'd think that would be headlines. Oh, we got Super Smash Bros going on. First Luigi joins the battle now. Yeah, well, I don't know who this dude's name was. Ken, go talk on social media. Go do your own live. Fred, go do your own live. Guys, calling people a soy boy or Antifa, anti-fascist, like, it's exhausting that you think, I don't know, maybe you're 18. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're 18, you're a big fan of Andrew Tate. I'm not sure. But it just, like, Jesus. Yes, Anonymous Moose. I would assume you're the Moose sector of Anonymous with a name like that. CEO for Blackstone. Sorry. Hold on. And link down in the description. I see you. I sub right away. I appreciate you. Oh, and hit subscribe and hit the notification bell if your feelings don't get upset if you act dumb, and I say that, but hit subscribe. And even if you do act stupid, we're all here to learn, right? I'm here to learn. I'm here to joke with you. So hit subscribe and join me. I'm here every single weekday. I'm old enough to know better. To know better what? I'm going to call you a fascist lactate. That's what I'm going to call you, Fred Santana, okay? If we're just going to do name calling, you maggot, I'm going to call you a PDF file protecting fascist lactate. If that's how you want to roll, we can do that. So this is the article I'm talking about. Reuters. These people are reporting the news. You might have seen a bunch of other things about the NFL targeted, and like you heard her say, they were not even on that floor. How are they coming up with this? I don't know. What's the narrative? Well, the narrative is don't let them know Blackstone executive who controls real estate in America, buys up single-family homes, was murked. Soured magates. In the case of Blackstone, it's a random shooting. End of story. Okay. Reuters. Yeah, I'm going to pronounce it Reuters. Okay, so I wanted to bring that to your attention, and I wanted to share that with you because obviously the story is developing. It's very new, and let's see, pay attention. Your homework tonight is if you watch the news, pay attention to the narrative, what they're trying to sell you. Obviously, corporations are not your friend. The mainstream media is not your friend. They're not here to inform you or educate you. That's why you saw in that lawsuit, Fox News was like, no one could possibly believe that our hosts are credible news sources. They're jokers. It's entertainment, like the WWE. These people are there to make a profit and to be a mouthpiece for billionaires. That's why it was so interesting when you hear all these stories about the Wall Street Journal coming out with the birthday card that Trump sent to Epstein, the Wall Street Journal reporting on, hold on, I think I have the headline. I thought I had the headline. I had the headline somewhere. My goodness, I'm sorry. Well, the Wall Street Journal reported, this isn't it, but when the Wall Street Journal reported that Donald Trump had heard his name was in the Epstein evidence in May from Pam Bondi, and then all of a sudden the list didn't exist. Then it was a hoax. Then it was Obama, Comey, all that. When you heard that talked about on the news, and I talked about this last week on the live stream, it was very, very fascinating that they weren't even saying at some points the Wall Street Journal. They were just saying Rupert Murdoch is clearly going after Trump. And when you read into that, when you understand what they're saying, and this is what I've been saying for years, when I see people reading the Wall Street Journal, I just go, oh, you're reading Rupert Murdoch's thoughts on the economy? A billionaire Australian who has no interest that you share with him. You're going to read his opinion. And it's fascinating now that the Wall Street Journal is leaking all these things about Trump and Epstein's relationship. That's even how the mainstream media is talking about it. And you can go see for yourself. Go watch, whatever news you watch, and they'll say, why is Rupert Murdoch allowing this? And if you don't know, Rupert Murdoch, also owner of Fox News, did an interview, which we talked about here on the live stream, where he said he knew the election talk was a lie. He knew, he was like, and I could have silenced it. I own the company. I could have said, stop that. And he's on record in an interview saying, yeah, I could have stopped that election fraud talk, but I didn't. So he's backed Trump. He has helped Trump. His influence is widely seen in the Wall Street Journal and Fox News. And now it's interesting to see the mainstream media, the lamestream media, not my media. It's interesting to see them address it as that. Rupert Murdoch going after Trump. They're dropping the mask. They're not pretending like this is some journalist going rogue. They're admitting to you. Like Fox News, Wall Street Journal, it's Rupert Murdoch putting out his propaganda. So pay attention. Oh, see, we've got some brilliant minds in the chat. Pat Flatley, good God, get a life. Why don't you go protect your PDF file, friend? Huh? Get out of here. Get out of here. There's no picture of Trump in a blue dress. That's y'all's guy. So wait, are you saying, because there's no picture of Trump in a dress, that I don't even know who would be in a blue dress. I'm assuming you're talking about Kurt Cobain and his infamous on stage wearing a dress thing that many people have duplicated, and that happened in the 90s. I'm guessing you're saying because Donald Trump hasn't done that. He's obviously, number one, not as fucking cool as Kurt, but number two, that he's a good guy? Really? With all this stuff that's coming out about Donald Trump, you're defending him? The number one victim of Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein, Trump complaining that Epstein, his best friend, stole him from him, and that's why they had to cut off their relationship. You're still defending. There is time to get off the MAGA train. This is a warning. There is time to get off and still look semi-fucking decent as a human person. I'm brainwashed. Okay. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Rob. I do a live stream 5 days a week. I do news commentary, as I branded it. Come on, YouTube. Give me a news commentary genre in that little side alley you got of genres. We joke about the news because the news is a joke. And for all of you who might call me a liberal, get it fucking right. I'm a radical woke Marxist. I'm the boogeyman Trump has warned you about. I'm the scary one. I'm the woke radicals that are trying to take over this country. We want free ambulance rides for all. We want to tax the rich. Jeff Bezos shouldn't be renting Venice. He should be paying so much taxes that Venice rents him, if that makes any sense. And we should be taxing wealth, not work, so much so that your grandmother can get her medication for free. How come it's cool when Trump says we're going to lower medication costs by 1,000%, which means they will pay you to take the medication? But when I say I want to tax Jeff Bezos and that orange turd, all of a sudden everybody gets butthurt. I'm the radical wokist that wants free healthcare, universal basic income. We want corporate landlords out of our rent. We would like our taxes to serve our communities. We want free lunch for kids at every single school, morning, noon, and night. Let them have free dinner at school. I'm that guy. I also want you to have paid time off, even if you disagree with me. You can like this orange turd, but he's doing the best he can to strip you as a worker of your rights. I don't want you to have to earn sick time. How silly is it in America? Go ask a European about this. How silly is it in America? You have to earn your sick time. You can't even be sick on the job. You have to earn that. You have to earn your vacation time. It's fucking absurd. And I want you to enjoy that. I want you to have a sick day. I remember some dude online bragged about when I need a vacation day, I take a sick day. And I said, what about when you need a vacation? He says, I haven't taken one in years. And I was like, that's not a brag. That's why your kids fucking hate you. So just to introduce myself. Bethlehem Yinum. Trump is the best president ever, and you interpret the words the way you want or how you understand it. Give him a break. He's not working hard for America. He just spent $10 million opening a golf course in Scotland. What are you talking about? He's spending my hard-earned money. People that work for me, I want him doing better than that. I want him releasing the Epstein files like he said he would, and now all of a sudden he's acting very guilty around it. Trump doesn't give a shit about America. How old are you? What was your name? Bethlehem? How old are you? Because I hope you're young and you can, learn something. He spent your tax money on the course? Hill Country Conservative. Again, I'll ask this in the most appropriate way I know how. Are you fucking stupid? He's the president. How do you think he got to Scotland? How do you think he took his golf court around and played golf? That's my taxpayer money. How come you only know about your taxpayer money when it's Medicare or SNAP? That's the only time you complain? How about when this big orange turd goes on a vacation to run away from the Epstein file thing? He is the worst human, and he's acting so guilty. That's the funniest part. These maggots, they will just pretend that this is not a big deal. But guess what? If there was anybody else as president right now, they'd all be saying, release the files, like Dan Bajina. What's his name? Dan Bajina? Dan Oingo Boingo? Do you know what I'm talking about? The podcaster who now runs the FBI? How they released all the MLK, JFK, aliens, the Lincoln assassination. They're just releasing everything. They're like, here, guys, have it all. Have it all. Coachella is run by aliens. Have everything, guys. Lizard people, real. And they're like, the Epstein stuff? Oh, sorry, it doesn't exist. We lost it. Obama has it. He was not casting card. You got to be young too. Why does this chat turn into Trump people being like, I'm going to just repeat the lies that I think exist? He wasn't successful. This is how I know you're young, because anybody, his own state of New York, he had to leave there and did not vote for him. But my family's from New York, so we knew of Trump before. And if you were here yesterday, we talked about Trump bankrupting a casino and his father, Fred Trump, who gave him everything. He's a Nepo baby. He's the ultimate Nepo baby and a PDF defender. And he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. Oh, what's up, Darius? Good to see you. Wait. He's already successful. Like, that doesn't make him a PDF file. Hal Bent. Maybe I interpret, again, I'm reading comments, guys. So maybe I'm interpreting when he said he was already successful before the presidency. Maybe he meant he was already as successful at grooming women. I didn't realize that. I did not realize that. I'm sorry. You're right. He was a very successful groomer before he was president. You're totally right. Thank you for pointing that out. No, Hal, I could not imagine idolizing a politician. But again, like, these people are deeply invested. Remember, they have shirts. They plastered their car in Trump's head on top of Rambo's body. So they're very invested. They have his shoes, his Bible, all the stuff made in China, the guitar. They have all this stuff. And if they go, oh shit, he is the deep state. He's good friends with Epstein, and he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a horrible, horrible human, and that's why she's in prison right now. They have to come. They have to face themselves. They have to look in the mirror and go, what did I do? What has my life become? But I'm here to tell you, Time Money, that it's okay. You got duped. You're a fucking moron. Or as my mom used to say, you're a maroon. And it's okay. That's why I said there's time to get off, because this train is a crashing. There's no avoiding that he is good friends, and it just gets messier, messier every day. Rob Litton, brainwashed sheep. Yeah, they keep calling me brainwashed. Yet they can't say anything against Trump. And that's the weirdest thing. Like I could tell you, I don't like Kamala. I don't like a top cop being president. I don't like a fake CEO, a guy who bankrupted a casino being president. I think we need some kind of parliament or social revolution. I don't know. I don't know what we need. But there's a lot of maroons in here. Penelope, you're right. It is a cult. I mean, they are heavily invested. Heavily invested. Casinos are money printers, and Donnie failed at printing money. Now, if you weren't here yesterday, we talked about this because there was a story on Mother Jones that detailed how Fred Trump, Donnie's dad, how Donald's dad wrote him a couple $1 million checks, but not wrote it to him. They wrote the check, brought it to the casino, cashed it for chips, and then left, and then did that multiple days. And this is all legally reported on because there were investigations, because you can't fund a casino like that. You can't just take chips away while investing a lot of money. That's an illegal loan for a casino. Again, I'm not a casino owner. I never bankrupted one. But this is a report on. You can go to yesterday's live stream and follow along. I encourage you. So it was more than just, him bankrupting a casino. You should go back in time and stop it. K-Bar, you're going to open up a rabbit hole that we will go down, because I love talking about time travel. They wrapped their entire anniversary around a PDF file, and now they're trying to run from it. Well, Joe Not Exotic, interesting. They're not trying to run from it, and that's why I keep encouraging them, run from it. Guys, remember 3 months ago when Dan Oingo Boingo and Kash Patel, Dan Vagina, were like, we're going to get the files, guys. And Theo Vaughn was talking to J.D. Vance, and they were like, release the files. And they all thought it was like, something that people would just keep saying, like some kind of fucking weird motto. And then when push came to shove and Trump was like, no, we can't do that. I'm all over the files. Me and Clinton and, Richard Branson, Chris Tucker, and I don't even know. There's a ton of people. And I say, let them all go down. Who gives a fuck? Again, that's the difference between me and you. A lot of people, like this guy, like to focus. Bill Clinton. Trump yesterday said Clinton was on the island 28 times. I'm like, how do you know that? Did you see him there? Did you read it on a list? So he's being very suspicious, very sus, as the kids say. And I have no problem saying Bill Clinton, like, he wants to focus on Bill and not him, but it's like, let's focus on all these people. They're human garbage. America is better today than last October by far. What is better, Jay? With a cross, Jay. You're not a Christian, are you? Because, Jesus hates Trump. Gas is not $2, but okay. It's funny. Like, they'll say whatever they can say. Why? Because they idolize. Again, you got to remember who they idolize. They idolize a man who says what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter if it's a lie. He just says shit. And that will bring us into the next story, PBS. Trump says Epstein stole young women from Mar-a-Lago spa, including Virginia Giuffre. And with this, I would like to Trump was cooked after admitting he had young girls working at his Mar-a-Lago spa who were lured away by Epstein. So Trump didn't need to travel to Epstein Island because he had his own operation going on. Makes sense. Atlanta Black Star. I'm just seeing this on Reddit. My apologies. I don't have this link. AtlantaBlackStar.com if you want to read along. there's an article addressing, and again, this is one of the things that if you know anything about the victim, Virginia Guffey, who passed away, and it's horrific, 41 years old, very young. Obviously, this had huge implications and consequences in her life, and these people should be held accountable. But one of the things that clearly Trump, and again, we have the fucking audio. Where was the audio? I had it up, and
With
then,
ultra fat.
whoops, and then Reddit switched on me. Here, I'll just, hold on. I'm going to Google it real quick. Trump says Epstein stole masseuse. Sorry. Videos. Let's see if the, what? Facebook? I don't do Facebook. Get the fuck out of here. Where is it? Hold on, let me go to YouTube. My apologies. But one of the things I was pointing out, which I wish reporters and journalists would do this at the time, but when Trump said on Air Force One, Trump says Epstein stole worker. Okay.
Joining us here this evening.
Hold on. Audio. Here we go.
Just to button up on Mar-a-Lago, you're saying that
Here's the audio.
poached 2 of your staffers. Who were they? Were they
I don't
young?
want to say 2, or I don't want to say any number. You're talking about many years ago, but yeah, he took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore. You know, they work for me, and he took, beyond that, he took some others, and once he did that, that was the end of him. I didn't like, where they steal people.
Corey Willis, my apologies. I did watch a South Park Trump episode. And did you see, I read that after that episode, South Park's streaming jumped 258%, I believe. Insane. And the other thing is Corey Willis, do you know about, so at the end of, we're going to listen to the Trump audio talking about how Epstein stole Virginia Guffey. And then we're going to ask the question that journalists should have asked right then. Trump, Donald, why did you have underage girls working at your massage parlor? Like, why? Virginia was underage at that time. Why would you have underage girls as a masseuse? Why did no journalist say that? This is fucking crazy. And this is how, like, dumb the lamestream media is. But Corey was talking about South Park, so I want to address that. Corey, have you seen, they did at the end of the South Park, if you don't know, whole episode of Trump making fun of him. And then at the end, they did a deep fake of Trump walking through the desert. Very funny. Do you know that the South Park creators, Matt and Trey, had created a deep fake show 4 years ago before any of this? And it's on YouTube, and it's called Sassy Justice. And if you have not seen it, it might be the one reason I think deepfakes should be allowed, because this is the funniest satire comedy ever. And they use Trump as a deepfake, and he is a guy named Fred Sassy who does Sassy Justice. He's a young or a small town investigative reporter. So if you have not seen Sassy Justice, you're welcome. I might have to go watch it all tonight. We might have to play a clip on here. Bo's crashed out. Oh no, Bo, don't crash out. Bo is a big MAGA guy. Don't crash out, buddy. Bo, stay with us. We're gonna walk you to the light, okay? We're gonna deprogram you from the culture end, and we're gonna get you back. Richard Thorpe. Quit lying, dude. Go Trump. I love how every fucking new Trump person comes in here, and all they say is like, you're lying, whiny liberal, soy boy, Antifa, which good. I'm an anti-fascist. Are you complimenting me while you're trying to diss me? And then they just say, go Trump. Guys, we know your lips are far up his puckered old orange butthole. We know. You don't have to do that. MAGA strong. It's strongly protecting the Epstein files. Here is Trump on the plane discussing why he broke up with his best friend, the wonderful keeping PDF file, Jeffrey Epstein. And remember, he's talking about the year 2000.
Well, I don't like it.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. I'm just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people.
Wait, let's pause that. Did you hear that? One of the journalists, good on him, said, would you say that some of the women he took from you were young women? Now, he didn't say underage women or children, but I just want to ask you, if you had people working for you and you knew they weren't underage and somebody asked you that, what would your answer be? Would you say, I don't want to answer that? Would you say, of course not? We hired everybody that was 18 and older. It was a massage parlor. They were masseuses. We made sure, verified that they were over 18. Isn't that like an easy fucking answer? Let's listen to that again. Pay close attention, folks. This is all the MAGA heads. This is who you're defending, okay? Let's just be very clear on what you're defending. You fucking creeps.
Taken from you, were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but
Were some of them that he had taken from you young women? Well, I don't want to say is Donald's answer. Why don't you want to say? Is it damning? Does it look bad? Why don't you want to say, Donald? That seems like a fucking gimme, doesn't it? If you didn't have underage women working for you, you'd be like, hell no, and you would stand on business, as they say in the hood. I learned that online. Oh, there goes my fake laugh again. Who said that before? Some conservative dickhole. But if, like, that's what you call, when I worked in radio, that's what you call a softball question. You ask them something very easy so they can crack it out of the park and look like the fucking hero of the game. And that would be a softball question. Did he steal any underage girls from you? And Trump goes, well, I don't want to say. Which usually sounds like, a police interrogation where the police ask you something. You go, well, I don't want to say. Shouldn't I have a lawyer here? And I'm not saying that makes you guilty, but if you didn't hire underage girls, you could easily say. You could go, of course not. Go check the record book. We got nice details of everything. Bada bing, bada boom. Guys, Rob's pronounce are he, him. Lottie, is that supposed to be a joke? I don't get it. Owen Fiction. You're right. Donald is a clown. Make America Great Britain. Who is that? Matelock Medic? Or Metalot Medic? Matlock Medic. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. I would like you to come here back here tomorrow. By the way, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Medic. Can I just call you Medic? I feel like we just met, but I'm going to call you Medic. That was funny as fuck. And that should be a t-shirt. If I do merch on the channel, we got a couple of ideas already, but Matelock, if I can figure a way to cut you in on that saying, could we make those t-shirts? Make America Great Britain again? That is so funny. Lottie, you just on a bandwagon of hate. Oh, Lottie, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to pick on people, but when you defend Donald Trump, Lottie, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, I hate a guy who took advantage of young women. Is that supposed to be an insult? Or are you complimenting me, Lottie? I don't get it. Okay. Should we not hate pedos? Ronan, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. My thoughts exactly. They're like, just a hater, man. Hater, just get on the Epstein Express, bro. What are you hoping? Lottie, are you hoping for an invite to the island? The guy's dead, okay? I don't get it when people are like, you're just hating. And I'm talking about Donald Trump saying, I don't want to answer that, to being asked, were underage girls working for you? I would hope most employers, unless like you employ babysitters or like, I don't know, like you work at Dairy Queen, like unless you own a Dairy Queen or a babysitting company, like I would hope your answer could firmly be like, no, of course we didn't have underage girls working for us. But no, let's continue the audio. Again, this is Donald Trump answering questions about why he broke up with his best friend, wonderful keeping secret, Epstein. And the timeline, as we'll get into in a little bit, again, video down below for what we're going to talk about. Tara Palmeri, who went around the country with Virginia Giuffre, discusses this in her video, and I can bring it up too. What about Clinton? Fuck Clinton too. Guys, for everybody who's going to say something about Clinton, like Clinton was a disaster for this country. Fuck him and his family, okay? Like, Owen, only liberals have pronouns. Do you know what a pronoun is? Owen, like the pronoun thing isn't making me mad, but if you dare call me a liberal again, I will fucking mute you. I'm a radical wokist. I'm what your Republican senator warned you about. I don't want to ban any books, bitches. I love that that's where we're in America. They're like, they stole the green M&M. Dr. Seuss is woke. We got to ban these books or every kid's going to be gay. It's like, that's what you're scared of? Not the CEOs, by the way. Another CEO down today, Blackstone. Another win for the people. But you're not worried about like, well, you were worried about egg costs, but you're not worried about like wealth inequality? Or Jeff Bezos making his employees pee and poop in bottles while he rents Venice, but it's like books. Fucking idiots. Mentioning about Biden or Clinton as if we like them either. Nikita, you get me. We don't give a shit about none of these motherfuckers. We don't have no Biden shirts in this house, okay? Get it straight. Now let's listen to your boy Donald talk about why he had to break up with his best friend. And remember, guys, go easy on Donald. He lost his best friend. He lost his best friend, Jeffrey Epstein, a few years ago, so he's still having a rough time.
Everyone knows the people that were taken, and it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad, but that story's been pretty well out.
Isn't that weird how Trump says the concept of taking people who work for me is bad, not hiring underage girls? And I'm guessing the guys who support that are creeps themselves. You know, why else would you support this? But not underage girls working for you is bad. Not his island. Not all the creeps that he associated with. Not the fact that Donald Trump said in a New York Magazine interview that he likes women younger than him. None of that is bad. But where he will draw the line is stealing those underage girl masseuse employees. Like, is this what you guys fucking defend? I don't want you nowhere near my friends. Okay, let's keep going.
Out there, and the answer is yes, they were. Yeah,
What do they do?
in the spa.
In the spot.
Yeah, people that work in the spa.
He said people that work in the spa, because they said, what do you do? And again, if you were here yesterday, I said, why did no journalist, when he said, I ended my friendship with my longtime best friend, wonderful secret-keeping best friend, Jeff Epstein. When he said, I ended it because he stole workers from me, why did nobody that moment say, was it young girls? Did you have young girls working for you? Were they masseuses? And today we're getting that audio. So thankfully, one of the journalists was watching my live. You're welcome for the fucking idea.
Great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, he's bragging about his spa. Yeah, if you like girls under 18 at a spa, which I'm sure some of you fucking weirdos defending him do, he's saying it's the best spa in the world.
And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, God. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the...
They would complain about him stealing employees. Nobody complained like, hey, I just had a massage and the girl seemed very young, like probably braces and a fucking driver's permit. No one complained about that, but it was like, hey, where'd that girl go? What fucking creeps? Oh.
I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want them taking people. And he was fine, and then... Not.
By the way, can I just make a very petty note, because Donald's a very petty human. Do you hear how he talks like a fucking fourth grader? I told him, whether it was spa or not spa. Like, dude... No wonder why you hate Sesame Street, because they teach people beyond your fucking comprehension. That's why he wants to defund Sesame Street. Because he's like, I don't want these kids smarter than me. They're going to learn fucking all the letters. There's like 170 of them.
Too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa.
Did you hear that? First he says, I don't know, and then he cops to it. I think she worked at the spa. If you understand the timeline, which we'll get into, Tamara Palmeri, who is a journalist and does a great job, she has a YouTube channel now. Highly recommend you subscribe to her. I put her link to the video down below. Virginia was underage at this time. A child.
I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about it.
So what he's about to say is she had no complaints about me. That's what he cares about. He gives no shit about the victims. For all of you who were 3 months ago saying release the Epstein evidence, for all of you who think Bill Clinton's a bad dude and care about the victims, let me just wake you up to something. You don't care about the victims. You just want to persecute anybody who isn't in the red team and the MAGA team. And that's the saddest part about this. Take the red off your head. Take the blue off your head. It's not left versus right, folks. Those are two wings of the same bird. They don't work for you, okay? They all protect each other. That's why Donald isn't releasing the list. That's why. He's protecting his billionaire friends. Clinton and well, okay? He's protecting them all. That's why if he cared about you, he would release the list. But he doesn't give a shit. And the thing is it's not left versus right. It's top versus the bottom. And if you think you're in the top, you're mistaken. Two wings of the same bird. Joe, not exotic. I like you. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. So how does any of this get you a job? Josh, so I don't make any money here on YouTube yet. But when I am bigger than Mr. Beast, well, I don't want to be bigger than Mr. Beast. I just want to have a huge fucking channel and wake people up to this, you know, what George Carlin talked about. And when I do, I want you to come back because I'll throw you a 10 spot or something. Republicans and Democrats, maybe. I know. Love the hypocrisy. When Trump lets his, hold on. Lets his build up because he was trolling you guys so hard. Oh, God. And some of this stuff doesn't even make sense. Public broadcasting has pushed a deranged separation from the reality of something as simple as a man and a woman. Matthew Howell, oh, you are a sad, misguided soul. Your elephant eyes, I can see right into them, and your soul is harmed. Okay, Trump is squirming. I would say he is a good actor, but he's not a good liar. And the sad part is the people who believe him, they don't need a good liar. They just need someone who says, like, windmills cause cancer. They kill all the birds. And people are like, oh, my God, you're right. They just want to hear the confirmation bias. And this is what Trump has tapped into. He wants the division, like you just heard. You know, Sesame Street's pushing stuff like not a man and a woman. It's like, that's not fucking true. But more importantly, Trump says something like that. You know, the woke is out to make men no more. And it's like, guys, just so you know, we've had gender-neutral bathrooms forever. They're called family bathrooms, and no one complained about those. But somehow this is so divisive. And all it is tapped into is your fears and your hatred for the other. It can be anything. Immigrants, people with pronouns, fucking books, the green M&M. I don't know. Like, you guys get mad at so many things. But he's tapped into that, and he's decided to divide you. But here's one thing I thought we could all agree on, is that guys who are creeps and traffic and associate with traffickers and wish traffickers and abusers who are in prison right now, like Ghislaine Maxwell, well, are bad people, just in general. Like, if we took Donald's name out of it, which they're desperately trying to do behind the scenes, right? Thousands of FBI agents are trying to flag every piece of paper, which probably is a lot. But if we took Trump's name out of it, like 3 months ago, when you guys were all talking about release the Epstein evidence, how come it was okay then? And now it's like not okay. I want you to think about it. You guys got some self-reflecting to do, okay? And that's why you're here. That's why you're still here watching my live. Some of the shit is just weird. The complete and utter denial of Trump's few remaining supporters is funny, pathetic. Ronan, I call it sad hilarious. Sad hilarious because it's very sad to see what humanity can stoop to, but it's also fucking hilarious. Owen, are you talking about the Blackstone CEO? Do you know what you are? Is Russia, Russia, Russia. This is 4D alpha male chess gambits, guys. Masterful gambits, sir. So I think this is the end of the audio.
Us, as you know, none whatsoever.
Okay, so that was the end of the audio. Again, I wish during that audio where Trump was answering questions, again, foolishly, I mean, the guy just really can't shut his mouth, but he sounds immensely guilty because if we had a skilled journalist, like they're asking questions I was saying yesterday, today, which, okay, fine. And if any of those journalists are watching, when he admits to Virginia Giuffre being there, just go, well, wasn't she, let's look up, she's 41. So, Virginia Giuffre, age, hold on, 83 to 2017, depending on the birthday. No, 17. So that means, and who knows when he hired her, but he's talking about the year 2000. So that means he had underage girls working for him as masseuses. And I don't know when he hired them again, but like, I'm not a journalist and I just easily fucking came up with that. It's very sad that these journalists aren't going, so Virginia was 17 working as a masseuse for you? Don't you find that creepy? Because if this was Hunter Biden, right? Like, if I just did what Trump did to you, just lied, like, you know, profusely lied. And I was like, guys, Hunter Biden had 17-year-old girls working for him. You guys would be in a fucking frenzy. You guys would be buying new hats that said, you know, Biden's employees and like laminating your car with shit. But it's so weird that, you know, like we can just agree on this contextually, like this is a bad thing. But as soon as you add Donald into it, everybody starts saying I sound vaccinated, which I am, Timothy. You fucking sound like you have measles. That's the saddest part. Like, do you guys hear, maybe you're online too much, or maybe you're isolated. I know incel is a big thing, and that wasn't around when I was growing up. Do you hear what you say to people? You know, like, you sound vaccinated. And I don't know how old you are, Timothy, but you're probably vaccinated too. If not, maybe you're one of them people in Texas that died of measles. I don't know. I don't know. Do you, Timothy? Timothy. Oh, it wasn't to you. Okay. Interesting that you're backing out now. But when people say shit like you sound vaccinated, let me just address that. Because somehow America has gotten to sound so fucking stupid. Like saying shit like that. Like Antifa, like someone said that yesterday. And I said, that's a good thing. You know, like my grandfather fought fascists in World War II. You should be proud to be Antifa. That's what it stands for, in case you didn't know. If you didn't know and you're using that word. It's like I don't use the word goon because I hear kids say it. And I don't really know what it means. Please don't explain it to me. Somebody did. I had to ask somebody. You know, or giat. You know, people go, say giat. And it's like, I fucking, you know, I say rad. I say cowabunga. Stuff like that. He's vaccinated and unemployed. Who would have guessed? Matthew, the sad thing is like, you're probably vaccinated too. What are you, fucking 4? You know, and like, this is the thing. Ask any of your grandparents about polio. You know, the thing RFK Jr.'s aunt died of, I believe. So like, the reason you don't have it is because of vaccines. But somehow, this is like an ultra diss in the incel community, which I do not understand because it makes you sound fucking dumb. I'm trying to help you. I don't know why. I don't understand why I'm trying to help you, but I'm trying, like, get a better diss, you know? Like, stop using vaccinated, stop using Antifa, because you sound fucking stupid. Who's quoting the Bible? Genesis 32:24. Deductive reasoning would tell you that an ancestor in the holy book beat God MMA style, forced him to bless you with the name of Israel. 4 monocontexts. Tucker versus Ted Cruz. I believe that is an accurate quote. Sun Tzu. I'm glad we have a Bible thumper in here. I don't know what's going on in the comments, but whoever's quoting Genesis and saying that it was an MMA match is absolutely hilarious. Oh, good God. Oh, I love it. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, my Jesus. This is the other reason I just absolutely love YouTube. I love the handles and I love the comments. If you missed it, let me just read it to you. That was so good. It's like yesterday someone said the moon is flat. They came into my live and they just said the moon is flat. And I said, that is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to run with it. Because you don't see enough flat mooners. You know, you just don't see the flat mooners. And today, not only someone earlier said, make America Great Britain again, which just should be a t-shirt. That's a bumper sticker I would rock. Make America Great Britain again. They want a king. They just want a king. They want daddy to own them. They don't want any more kind of say, and they don't want it to say we the people. They want it to say I the Donald. But let me read this comment from Sun Tzu. I'm not going to try to pronounce that first name. Genesis 32:24-30. Deductive reasoning would tell you that if an ancestor in the Holy Book beat God MMA style and forced him to bless him with the name Israel, from modern context, Tucker versus Ted Cruz. Oh, Christ. Now, listen, I read the Bible every single day, and I might have missed that part, but good God, it is funny. I'm not a Bible thunder, my guy. I'm just telling you why you can't get results. Ted Cruz told Tucker Carlson the Bible says God will bless those who bless Israel. Oh. It's almost funnier if you meant that seriously. If you really meant that seriously, like, holy shit. That is much funnier. Why is everybody fighting in the comments, guys? Jesus said love one another. Stop it. Please, stop it. He said love your enemy. He said, what is it if you just love those who love you? Even the tax collectors do that. So stop. Stop calling me Antifa and start calling me... I'm not going to say. Anyways, MAGA wants to smoke. They always want to smoke. They always want to smoke. Okay, what else were we going to talk about? Oh. By the way, does anybody watch Friendly Jordies? I know we had a Tasmanian Serenity in the live yesterday. Lori Walsh 420. I see you. Good to have you back over here being peaceful. You just ramble without any content, but you giggle. If this is the appetizer, I'm waiting on the protein. Keep waiting, Teresa. Yesterday, we had a couple Tasmanians in the house, and I mentioned a channel called Friendly Jordies, and he does some great investigative reporting. In fact, he does it so well that his house got firebombed in Australia. It was big news a couple of years ago. And now he's covering the Epstein stuff. And he does a deep dive into Epstein's background, where he was raised, how he got his first job, all the people that are tied to Trump that have hired him, including Bill Barr's dad. And I linked the video down below. I don't think we'll watch the video on here because, well, we haven't gone too long. But it's really fascinating. I don't know how I attract so many incels. 43 Shade. This is a good question because they see Trump in the title, and they go nuts. They feel an obligation. I'm pretty convinced most of them sit and wait to see Trump in the headline somewhere and just go and defend him and just jump in and go, Trump 2028, MAGA, soy boy, Antifa. Like, because they all say the same thing. It's repetitive and it's quite sad, hilarious. But I just think there's an army of them, you know, ready to defend Jeff Epstein's best friend at all times. No, Elizabeth. The 17-year-old was not a cashier. He was saying he stole her from the spa, masseuse. Hold on. Where is... Okay, so Friendly Jordies goes into... I'm going to play just a brief clip of this, okay? This is Friendly Jordies' channel. The link down below.
have a degree. Ed was only 21. The headmaster of Dalton, who left a semester before Epstein began working there, was Donald Barr. Now, here are some of the first strange connections. Donald Barr served in World War II with the Office of Strategic Services. That was the precursor to the CIA. He's the father of William Barr, U.S. Attorney General under George Bush Sr. and Donald Trump, specifically during the time Epstein died in federal custody.
Now, he's talking about Epstein and his connections, and this wasn't the right spot. Something must have happened. I wanted to get to the point where he discussed, or maybe I started a little late, but he says Jeffrey Epstein first got a job teaching, before I think he even had a degree, teaching from Donald Barr, Bill Barr's dad. And he got this job teaching at the age of 21. And there was a series of weird coincidences where he just kept getting promoted and ranked higher up and kept getting better gigs and managing more money. And he even talks about how at one point Epstein's company managed money for people who only had $1 billion or more. He was turning down anyone who didn't have $1 billion. And this was in the 90s, which I don't even know if the word billion was there in the 90s. Bo, what are you? Bo, you have so much hate in your heart, man. I hate to see you at church. Jesus.
Awaiting trial. Oh, and he also wrote a science fiction novel about child sex slavery called Space Relations.
Bruh.
That is Bill Barr's dad, who wrote this book called Space Relations. These are all weird coincidences, right?
Which was published a year before Epstein went to work at Dalton. That's not a joke or an exaggeration. You can see why QAnon loves this shit. Like, that book has to be a coincidence, but fucking hell. It's like Epstein's life is a book. He's barely out of school, and the level of cosmic foreshadowing going on is off the chart.
So listen, I don't want to play all of his video. I highly encourage you to just go watch Friendly Jordies and Friendly Jordies covering the Donald Epstein saga, because his team and him do an immaculate job investigating things. So I don't want to take his video and play much more of it, but it's just all interesting connections, and I really wanted to show you guys that, and hopefully you'll go support him. He has millions of subs, but again, I feel like anything that is credible and very funny, you should check out. And then, if you haven't heard the story of Friendly Jordies and his investigative journalism in Australia, you have to go. I just gave you days of content. So now, this is what I wanted to play for you, because I wanted to remind you guys, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of private talk going on between old deficit Donald, his regime, and Ghislaine Maxwell behind closed doors, not in public. What are they trying to hide? Why wouldn't they let it do in public? After, of course, he fired Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, Maureen, who's the one that prosecuted Ghislaine. And they're doing all this backdoor stuff right in front of us. Like the stuff that people claimed to elect Trump for, that he was going to drain the swamp and go after the deep state. He's doing deep state things right in front of your eyes, like meeting with Ghislaine behind closed doors privately to do what? Everyone thinks, a lot of people, everyone's saying it. Everyone's saying I'm going to pardon her. Everyone's saying that he's going to pardon her. So I wanted to take this time to play Tara Palmeri. Go subscribe to her channel. She's got 55,000 subs. So I'm a small channel, but still, again, I don't believe in this don't share the wealth thing, you know. I almost got 3,000 subs, and why would I want to hog them all? Give Tara some. But she's doing great. She's a journalist, and now she's got a YouTube channel, and she keeps really good updates on things. She does a lot of news appearances, but I just watch her YouTube channel. And the other thing that's interesting about her is she became good friends with Virginia before she passed. Again, if you don't know, Virginia Giuffre ended her own life a couple months ago at the age of 41. Extremely sad. Again, the repercussions, the ripple effect of this is just, it's horrific. And 41's too young, and she had kids. But Tara traveled around with Virginia trying to get, you know, other people that they know were affected by this to speak out. Virginia was very brave in that sense. And it's always weird to me. I always think about how, like, all these people who claim to be rabid for the Epstein list, you know, the Joe Rogans, the Dan Bajinas, Cash Patels, all those people who, like, you know, and their legion of followers that claim to want this Epstein list, they will also bash on the victims who come out. You know, like, I can't wrap my mind around it. Like, why do you want the list if it's not to hold the powerful accountable? And then when women speak out, they seem to go after them. Like, I can't make it make sense. But again, Tara does a great job advocating for the victims and reminding you of, you know, what this really, the real life consequences of this. So I just wanted to play a clip because, again, they're all saying I'm going to do it. If Trump pardons Ghislaine, remember, he had nasty things to say when Biden got cancer. And that's like the quintessential thing where, like, it doesn't matter, you just wish people well if they get cancer, right? And even this orange turd was like talking shit, you know. It's just one of those, like, very classless things, but you can't expect much more. So I just wanted to say, you know, that you gotta remember when he wished Ghislaine well, who he doesn't wish anyone well. He wishes nobody well. When he wished Ghislaine well, that was not only suspect, but if he pardons her, remember what she's in prison for. And that's why I want to play this clip of Tara.
Virginia said, I want to be a masseuse. Glenn, who was grooming these girls, said, I can help you.
Oh, by the way, hold on. Who said she was a fucking cashier? Who was that? There was somebody. Bandito, do you remember who it was in the chat? Some lady said she was a cashier. Like, you guys will do the ultimate cope. And I don't like using that word because I think it's stupid. But you guys will suck the copium pipe. Elizabeth, thank you. Elizabeth, you were like, she had dreams to be a cashier. I know you didn't say that, but I'm joking. You turd burglars. Ass hattery. Alma, good to see you, by the way, if I haven't already said it. Lori Walsh. IKR, I don't know what that means. They were so Christian-like with Biden's illness. Yeah, they were totally cheesins. Yes, we do know what she's charged with, JRW, or maybe you're just Junior W. I'd like to see Senior W. I don't know if he's around. But for the person who said, Elizabeth, when you said she was a cashier, she had hopes to be a great, one of the great crack cashiers of her time. I don't know if you heard what Tara just said.
The story, in fact. So Virginia was found on the property in the spa by Ghislaine Maxwell. She spotted her. Virginia said, I want to be a masseuse. Ghislaine, who was grooming these girls, said, I can help you. I can make you a masseuse. You can become a traveling masseuse for this man. Jeffrey Epstein will teach you everything you need to know. You just have to come back to his house. And it was there that it was Ghislaine Maxwell who took off her panties before Jeffrey Epstein molested her, and Ghislaine was also involved in it, which is another reason why she cannot be pardoned, why she is just as guilty as Jeffrey Epstein. So I
wanted to play that because that's important, because if this guy, if he pardons Ghislaine, he is like, there are body language experts on YouTube. And let me just say this, as not a body language expert, as a vibe expert, that's what I'm going to put on my LinkedIn. I'm a vibe expert. Remember they used to have life coaches? I'm going to be a vibe coach. That's what I'm going to do. If you need vibe coaching, I'm sure there's a huge niche. There's a huge industry for vibe coaching. And you heard it here first. Nobody's talked about vibe coaching. It's only been me. So I'm going to be a vibe coach. That we just created that in 2025, the year of our Lord 2025. I'm going to be a vibe coach. But as a vibe coach expert, okay? And I've been vibing since the 90s. Let me just say, if he pardons Ghislaine, that is guilty vibe body language, if I've ever seen it. So, I love your name, Ben. Hey, Francis, good to see you. I'm glad you're back. Elizabeth says she was going to report you to the president. Oh, well, he's got a long list of people who he hates. Marxist vibe coach. Yes, I'm your comrade vibe coach. I'm your radical vibe coach. Positive energy, coach up my vibes. Jim Bob Jones. Jim Jones, that's a dangerous name you got there. You don't like Kool-Aid, do you? A lot are thinking he will do it after 2028 election. 5 coach. Loving it. I'm loving it. They'll move the goalpost, no worries. Yeah. Big Rich, go watch Katie Johnson's interview. It's much worse than Katie Johnson. I don't know who that is, Penelope. Who's Katie Johnson? Oh, did she do the interview with, I almost said Ross Perot. Jesus. Katie Couric? Why did I almost call Katie Couric Ross Perot? Oh, my Jesus. Oh, good Lord, help me. Good Lord, help me. I don't know why I thought Ross Perot. I think because Katie Couric was wearing those... Did Ross Perot wear glasses? Or now I'm thinking of Mr. Who's the teacher from South Park? Where he wore those little spectacles. And he looks like Ross Perot. Nobody can defend that kind of behavior. Nobody. Trump on the island. Why would he know Bill Clinton was on that island? And why would he say 28 times? You know what? Mr. Garrison. Thank you, Alma. Thank you. God. So again, I linked this video down below. This is Tara Palmeri's channel. Again, Friendly Jordies channel, link down below, along with the article that we talked about earlier, another CEO down. So this is more, here, hold on. This is the title. If you heard about the shooting in New York, they were reporting they were going after the NFL, which makes no fucking sense. If you just hear that on his face, you're like, what? And then you find out, oh, a Blackstone executive was killed in that. Maybe that was the targeted shooting. Why would the media not want you to know another CEO got snubbed? Why? Why would the media want to control this narrative? Why would the police want to control this narrative? Why? Because there was a fervor for when those ghouls that profit off our suffering are taken out. Why? Why would they not want this to be the main story? And I talked about the TikTok channel at Debate Her, and she's covering this amazingly. She's got all the insights, but I was reading this morning and then found Debate Her on TikTok. And this discusses bankers and traders return to work because Wall Street doesn't stop for nobody. They always need more profit. They don't give a shit if their CEO is killed. The financial epicenter, one day after a shooting that killed 4 people, including a senior Blackstone executive. And if you don't know, the Blackstone executives, or that sub company of BlackRock, or they were the parent company. Again, I don't know. It's all middle management bullshit. They were buying up single family homes across America, turning them into permanent rental properties, which is horrible for your community, for your neighborhood, for families, for people that maybe you care about, for your opportunity to ever buy a home. And they were turning them into permanent rental homes, but also raising rents. If you paying attention in America lately, you know that rents have not been friendly to the people. Again, I'm radical and I'm woke because I believe that one person should be able to work a full-time job and be able to buy a house, get an education, not have medical debt, and go on many vacations a year. Like, that seems like such... In the 90s, you could say that with a straight face and no one called you woke. You know, they were like, yeah, that's fucking what our parents did. Like, yeah, of course that's what we want to do. And now that's some big divisive thing. Do you guys hear that? That one person working a full-time job. I don't give a shit if it's Burger King. I really don't care. And you shouldn't either. If you work full-time, you deserve to be able to own a home. Why can Jeff Bezos rent a city for a divorce, which, by the way, let me just say, let's have a toast to Jeff Bezos. I've been the best man many times at weddings. And this one, I'll keep this brief because I know nobody likes a long talker. Here's to a messy divorce, Jeff. A second one. Hit the like button. Thank you, Francis. Yeah, I never promote that. Buy me a coffee if you want to support the channel. Down below. you can support the channel. Because again, like people were making fun of me saying, get a job, you loser, unemployed, all that stuff. Well, thank you. You're inspiring me to just keep on going on my live stream until this channel starts making money. I'm very excited. Thank you for the inspiring words. They came out a little fucking wrong, but I get the message. And if you want to support the channel, buy me a coffee down below. But really what you could do is double tap the screen. You can hit the like button. And that means the world to me. And I thank you guys for being here. He got that prenup. Did he, Steven? Steven, are you serious? I didn't check because I just... I didn't want to crush my own dream. But did he get a prenup? I believe it, because Mackenzie Scott is one of the wealthiest women in the world. And for all the people who are like work harder, I just need to point this out. For everyone who's like work harder, get an education, don't work at fast food, and they think that's a reason like you should suffer, have medical debt, not be able to. Mackenzie Scott's one of the wealthiest women in the world, and all she did was divorce Jeff Bezos. So, just marry harder. Okay, guys. I'm going to wrap this up for right now, but Bandito, Alma, Francis, Lori Walsh, Steven, Big Rich, good to see you back in here. Get some dinner. I got to get some food. Oh, no, am I frozen? I hope I'm not frozen. Okay, there we go. I have to get some dinner. I didn't realize what time it was. I gotta get some dinner. I gotta feed the animals. But I appreciate you guys. Great to see you, Big Rich. I'm glad you made it back in here. Maybe I'll go live a little bit later tonight again. Because what was JRW? What was the thing you asked me? Because maybe I'll look it up and we'll see it again. But either way, if I don't go live later, hit subscribe, and then it turns into a notification bell. YouTube changed it. Hit the notification bell because I will go live tomorrow. I think we're going to go live a little bit earlier. And if some kind of crazy news breaks out, I'll just go live. Get out of America, free healthcare. Rent is low. Nobody can't live in America without these being very poor, very low. Food prices are insane in the USA. Correct. I'll be sure to tap in if you do. Appreciate you, Big Rich. Lori, showing off. I know a few oil people. You big show off. Gaddafi for real. Talk about Africa next time. What about Africa? I'd love to. Much love to everybody. I hope you have an amazing evening. And again, very grateful for everybody stopping by and joining me during this live. And please hit the notification bell and the like button. What are we at? 67? Let's get 2 more. Let's get 2 more to make Elon Musk happy. All right. Can we get 2 more likes before I sign off? Because that teenage fucking Nimrod, he loves that number. Can we get 2 more likes? 2 more likes. Come on, hit that, double tap that screen, folks. Double tap that screen. 2 more likes to make Elon Musk laugh like a little girl. 1 more like. Come on. Make today another wonderful best sign off. And everybody, make today another wonderful secret. You guys are all enigmas. You never age. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you before I go, I think if you've read that poem that Donald sent to Jeff on his birthday, Jeff Epstein, by the way, who had the island and was a wicked creep. I think if you this is what we got to do. I want to go over the poem. I want to bring it up on screen, go over it. I think they're referring to the enigmas as the underage girls. And hear me out. I think everyone thought he was calling Jeff and Donald were calling each other enigmas. But do you remember the movie? What's the movie? Dazed and Confused. Do you remember Dazed and Confused? Where, and again, the 90s were a weird time because this was like a cool part in the movie, where Matthew McConaughey says, I stay they say like, how's it going, Matthew? How are the girls? And he says, it's great. I get older and they stay the same age, man, or some shit like that. I'm quoting it wrong. We'll get the clip. We'll play the clip. But I thought about that driving home today. And I thought, Matthew McConaughey, hold on. I just got to pull it up. Because Dazed, Confused, same age. Hold on. Let me see if I could get this clip real quick. Here it is. Dazed and Confused, high school girls. Listen.
I'll tell you. That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age. It's like,
You heard that, right? Matthew McConaughey, that's what I love about these high school girls. I get older, they stay the same age, okay? Brilliant acting. Anyways, Ben Affleck in that movie. Go watch that movie. It's a great movie. But I was thinking about that movie driving home today. And then thinking about the poem where they said, enigmas never age. And then he said, they say to each other, every time I see you, I see that, like, yeah, we do never. Or it says something. It's very elusive. And I thought, what if Matthew McConaughey was right? And Dazed and Confused was predicting this? And what if the enigmas are not Jeff and Donald? What if the enigmas are the girls? Because as they age, the girls stay the same age. Is this making sense? Is this making sense to anybody? We all thought it made... Oh, damn it, Bandito. Bandito, you soul crusher. I thought I had tied it all together. I love you, Bandito. I thought of that clip and I was like, the enigmas of the girls. I figured out the poem. Oh my God. But if you guys already all thought that, then I'm a fucking maroon, as my mom used to say. Okay, well, on that note, hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Maybe I should have asked people. Okay, you know what? This is all learning experience. Next time I'll ask what people thought the enigmas were, because I thought everybody thought they were referring to Donald and Jeff were referring to each other. And then I was like, no, I broke this wide open, you maroon muff. 74 likes. 73. Somebody took away a like, and it's probably because I fucked that up. And you know what? I get it. I lose that like. Everybody thought the girls were the enigmas. I'm sorry. Kawag, you didn't think it was the girls either. Okay, so yo, I'm onto something with us, you and I. Everybody else, close your ears. Enigma were clearly the girls. Oh my God. Oh shit. See what happens when you don't get out. Anyways, hit subscribe and notification bell. If I don't go live later, I will see you bright and early tomorrow. That's why I say hit the notification bell. The Woker, K-Wag, Lori, Big Rich, Francis, Bandito. Glad you guys were here. Everybody else who's new, I'm Rob. I'm a radical wokist because I think if you work a full-time job in America, you should be able to buy a home, have no medical debt, and go on vacation multiple times a year. I think that should just be the fucking bare minimum instead of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos having a space race. You know, like tax wealth, not work. See you later, Francis. Thank you for joining. Francis has been coming here all week. I'm very grateful for you. Ronan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, my apologies. This was funny. Amen to that. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And I hope you hit subscribe. Please hit subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I want to do this full time. You heard all those MAGA people making fun of me saying you're unemployed. Well, soon, once this channel blows the fuck up, they can't say that. And that's the one thing I regret when I was younger. I didn't have the foresight of some of these young kids to think like, I could just do YouTube for a living. I'm going to play video games for a living. If you told me that when the NES Ninja Turtles came out, when TMNT came out on NES, and someone said, do you want to do this for a living? I would have, number one, said, it has to be another game. This one's fucking impossible. And I would have thrown the controller. But if you told me that, I would have said, no way. And here are all these young kids, brilliant young kids, live streaming, playing video games, and they're like making a living. Good on you, kids. Fucking make the system work for you. It's awesome. You'll be safe once this blows up. Keep going strong, brother. You got this. Big Rich, that means a lot to me. Oh, Patrick. I'm subscribing. Looking forward to more content. Make sure after you subscribe, please, you'll be set, not safer. I thought that was a threat. Please hit the notification bell after. Oh, God. And that's the other thing. I really have fun doing this, and I enjoy I enjoy all you guys, and I don't know where everybody is. I always ask people to drop where you are because I love having people from around the world and around the country. I think it's important. I think that's one of the vital things that the internet has done, aside from divide us and make us feel more alone, is really connect us. So it's an important thing. Scott, never let MAGA walk amongst us for their crimes against the working class. I like your sentiment. Los Angeles. Love LA. Love LA. My family's out there. All my in-laws. I lived in San Diego for 10 years. What I would do for a California burrito right now and some churros and some fucking horchata. Okay? Ugh. You said LA. That's Michigan. Amazing. You got a good Detroit rap scene out there. I think even Trump supporters can enjoy your stream if they just give you a chance. This is a fun channel to tune into. Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. And that's the other thing. I know, listen, I do give MAGA a hard time because how do you fucking defend a PDF file? There's certain lines that, you know, we got to be serious. No racist, no homophobia, no misogyny. There are serious things on this channel. For the most part, it's all jokes. But what's most important is like, you know, what kills me inside, I want to share this before I go. What kills me inside, unclaimed Appalachia. Oh, God bless you. You make good horchata. Oh, homemade for carne fries. But what really bugs me is when Donald says like, it's the radical left. You know, I always want a journalist to say, what does that mean to you? Shit, I gotta go. But that bugs me because what it means is work one job and have a good life.